Thank you so much, William, Dr. William. It's not easy to share such a story, but I was thinking, there's sharing it, but also there's people who've lived it and people who live with those memories, with the trauma every single day. So I thank you so much for taking your time and sharing this with us. And I guess to go towards the end and to add to I guess, a lighter note, or I don't know, some inspiration, because hearing what you've been through, hearing how many times you literally said that's it, I'm done, that's it, I'm dead, and that was it, until you were in they took you to a mortuary, but still you survived. I guess that's the Bible that you had that have been keeping you all the time, but you survived so that you can be here today and tell us your story, and that's really, really appreciated. But also to end towards where you are at now, talk to us about where you are, who you are, what you do, kind of to try to end to a positive note, I guess, if there's a such a thing as endings. The story is not gonna finish, but we're gonna try to, I guess, to wrap it up. Yeah, talk to us about where you are at today and your resilience. Talk us to through what you are doing now, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Delphine and the Tebuke, and also the Mutwara TV for hosting me and giving me this opportunity to share. In the last almost 30 years, actually, I haven't been able to share with anyone, including my family, what I went through, because it was horrific, but also sometimes when you sit back and look back, that's when you understand what God was doing. When I was in a torture chamber, actually, that's the time that my family was killed. Most of members of my family were killed. There are no doubts that if I was not in the torture chamber that time, although I didn't want it, I've been killed with my siblings and my dad, the other people that they killed from my village that time. Then when I went to Kenya, life was not that easy. I went into a refugee camp of Kakuma. So in Kakuma, when I arrived there, I realized that there were refugees who had been living there for the last 20 years. Some of them went there as a young boy as me, and they got married there and they had the kids. So I asked myself, now what next? Am I going to stay here for the next 25 years and they marry here and they have kids and in the same another kind of concentration camp? So one day I decided to leave the camp and go to Nairobi. So in Nairobi, I ended up on a street in Nairobi begging for scavenging for food. So begging. I met this wonderful person from Sierra Leone who was working as a bishop in Kenya. And so he told me that I didn't look like a beggar. And I told him, actually, I'm a very qualified beggar. So he said, I would like you to have a chat with you one day. So he gave me $20. And that $20 was a lot of money I ever got. So I went and ate a mandazi in Nairobi and bought some Coca-Cola and drank and enjoyed and had a feast with my friends and forgot about it. But one day he came back and said, would you like to go to church with me? And so we went to church with him. And from there, we went for lunch with him in his house where he was living in Westlands. So when I arrived at his place, I wanted to remove the shoes I had because I was so that day. That now you can imagine someone who has been walking for kilometers with the dust and everywhere. So I wanted to remove the shoes when I arrived at his house because his house looked so nice. He said, no, don't you remove the shoes. As we received the guest, as they come here. So they made me feel comfortable. Then they told me, we realize that actually what you need, you are a very bright person. What you need is just a boost. And we would like to hold your hand and help you move forward and see what God has in store for you. So he sponsored my education, started learning English and also learning some computer skills and language. And then after that, I went to school, got documentation, academic documentation, and then they helped me join a university in Kenya. So when I went to university, everything was paid for, the same way that the Bible tells us that Jesus paid it all for us. So everything was paid for. So it was my first time to enjoy a meal and sleep on a nice bed and also be like a human being again. So when I was there in the university, I did very well. Academically, I did very well. I made friends, then I continued there and finished my education. When I finished my education in one of this university in Kenya, then I got a job with the Office of the President, Cabinet Affairs in the Republic of Kenya. So to me, the first salary, people don't know this. The first salary I didn't spend the first salary because I thought that this is a trap. There's no way. So I started there with some money and got a lot of money. Then got money to go and look for my mother who was in Congo that time. Then from there, got a scholarship to go and do my studies in the US and worked in the US. After some time, got another prestigious scholarship to go and do my PhD in Australia. So that's my story, and that's how I became a doctor. And I thank God for everything.
Wow, that's so inspiring, and that's so it's a bit funny the way it was too good to be true when you got your first salary, but that's wow, you came a long way. And can you talk to us? Just it's not funny, but it's inspiring how many times you counted, like you physically like this is how many times I thought I was dead, and that's just before we finished to where you are. You're a doctor now. You are doing amazing job and everything. But can you 1 minute talk to us about how many times?
Actually, one day when I was relaxing, I counted the incidents where I thought actually it's over now. These guys are going to kill me. So there is a time I started looking at my body. Lying in blood, in a pool of blood, saying this is me now. The story is done. And when I counted those kind of moments, actually I find that over 112 times RPF wanted to kill me. Where I said it's over now, actually, where I had surrendered, they said now these guys are going to kill me. There is miracle did happen, and one of those incidents is we were actually in Sake, crossing, going to the hill of Sake where Nyamwasa had the soldiers. So as we were crossing from one place, from one bush to another bush to hide ourselves from the rockets from RPF soldiers, in front of me there was this elderly woman. So and we were standing on this rock, and between us and the next rock, there was a cave, a very, very, you couldn't even see at the bottom of the cave. So if you misstepped, you went into the belly of the earth, where magma is. So as we were trying, the elder woman was not so sure because when you are old, you are not as agile as possible. So as she was trying to cross, I told her cross faster because you could see the soldier, the RPF soldier, putting in the rocket to shoot us. So I told you cross faster. And as she continued being there, so I saw the rocket, the guy putting the rocket, so I fell back and I couldn't see this elderly woman. Actually, it was just blood and the meat everywhere, that everywhere, spread everywhere. So that time, that day, I knew actually that was my day. And but something happened. Unfortunately, somebody else went. So RPF, the times that they almost killed me. It was 112 times.
Wow. Oh, it's so unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. We thank you so much, Dr. William Adams Twayigize. Actually, this is very inspiring. Sad, you've been through hell and back. And like you just go counting like 112 times, like that's it. You had said your goodbyes, and that was it. And you even been to a mortuary because they thought you were dead, but you were not dead. You had to survive, and you had to live another day so that you can be here today to tell us your testimony, to tell us what you've been through, and I guess to end. I hope that all the stories will be told, the whole truth should be known, and people who put you and everyone through what they did, they will face justice. Justice must be served, and the whole truth must be told. And also I would encourage people like yourselves who survived to tell us their stories, as sad as horrific it is, but you can imagine people who live with these memories every single day. So again, thank you so much for your time, for coming here to tell us your story. It's so inspiring to see where you came from, what you've been through, and where you are today. So thank you so much, and I thank you, Claude, for co-hosting today with me, and thank you, HMG Studio. I pass it to you, Claude. Thank you.
Thank you, Delphine. I want to start with my gratitude to you, Dr. William Adams Twayigize, for your testimony. I also want to thank HMG Studio and our other sponsors, Friends of the Congo. Shout out to our Friends of the Congo comrades that are following this. I noticed Dr. Sam Livingston and Lyndon Wilberg and others. Big shout out to FOTC Atlanta, and also Black Star News, one of our other sponsors. I don't have a lot to add. I just want to encourage and ask everybody, join the efforts to pursue justice, because this is a symptom of white supremacy. The testimony that you just saw is white supremacy using local players. And today, as we challenge and bring about change, there is no lasting peace, as was said by Dr. Denis Mukwege, without justice. There is no justice without truth. And in order to get justice, we must tell the truth. And testimonies like Dr. Williams, even though are difficult to hear, are difficult to digest, we must absolutely bring those forward and let the world know. So let's all join Dr. Denis Mukwege in the pursuit, and other Congolese people and others around the world who are pursuing justice on the crimes that we have heard committed against so many different people here. But before I end my remarks, I want to just quickly acknowledge those of you who were in the audience, Kagoma Egg. Well, especially since we did not get a chance to actually interact with you and your comments. So Kagoma Egg, Mami Kazim Tony, Concord Musoni, Dr. Sam Livingston, Kanakinama, Denise Mikanya, Alpha Omega, Rugeni Janti, Dine Claudine, Marika Mororo, Maridus Bemba, Patrick Rugaba Patrick, Odette Mrekatete, Wisdom TI, and many, many others that I'm not able to go through this time. We really thank you for being with us, but we ask you that you share this story with all of your audience, every single person that you can share this story with, because the world must know. And the truth must come out, justice must be served. No one's life should be lost in vain. And all those women that were raped, must get justice, including reparations. And all the children who have died, their families, those who survived them, must get reparations. There must be justice for those who decided to sell out our sisters and brothers, but also to those who sponsor them. And so I thank you all for following this program, and I'll turn it back over to you, Freeman, to wrap this up for us.
Claude, thank you so very much. Dr. William, I don't even have any words to begin to say the journey that you have gone through, except that I'm super grateful to our living God, our Father in heaven, for having kept you, having gone with you in the midst of the fire, in the midst of the hell, and has taken you out of the hell. And here you are, from being just a young child to a young adolescent to a grown person, a grown lost person, a dead amongst the dead, a dead again amongst the dead again. I mean, from rapes to, gosh, I can imagine it all. And it just reminds me how our innocent childhood has been shuttled, has been destroyed. Even personally, I'm also from Rwanda, just like Claude, just like Delphine, and just like Dr. Williams. And when he was speaking, it's so difficult to imagine the gruesome, the hatred, the intent to just destroy a human life, literally. And I don't have the words to express the rage, the sadness, and how
the microphone was open.
In today's world, everything is just. We just don't have any words. But to all of our global audience watching right now, I want you to know that we have been killed since 1990 as Rwandese people. Up to this very day, on the 29th day of January 2022, the Rwandan Front Patriotic, or the Rwandan Patriotic Front, a rebel group turned into a government today in Rwanda, has killed people from October 1st, 1990, up until this very day. We have the international community rallying behind the government, the then rebel. They have helped them, sustained them. They have whitewashed all these crimes up to this very day. Many Rwandese people have died. We're talking about millions, excluding the Rwandan people in the ethnicity Tutsi, who were just killed in a so little time period. But also from the beginning of 1990 up until this very day, all Rwandese, meaning the Hutus, the Twas, and the Tutsis, are being killed. These are no longer being killed by the Interahamwe, as you have been introduced from 1994 to just as time period, those 100 days that international community loves to actually use as a time frame. I submit to you that all of you, ladies and gentlemen, all of you global citizens all over the world, we have a responsibility. The moral compass that we have learned all this time, that all these great leaders usually put in front of you. Where is the moral compass right now? When you look to what the government of Rwanda is doing, what is the moral compass? When you give a huge welcome to people like Nyamwasa, General Nyamwasa, General Kayonga, Charles Kayonga, General Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, assuming that he's still alive. Where is justice? Where is justice? We have told you that we are extremely grateful for the opportunity to tell our story today. Something we actually ask we do not ask any permission from any of you worldwide. We have to tell our story. We have to tell our testimonies, whether you like it or not. We also matter. Our lives also matter. Not just Black lives matter. All people's matter. All people's life matters. Rwandan lives matters. Hutu's life matters. Tutsi's life matters. Twa lives matters. It is our season to bring about justice, with or without you helping us out in the national community. We are going to do it, but we would ask each and every one of you who consider yourself a friend of Rwanda, a friend of a standard citizen of Rwanda, even the refugees who have been in this refugee camp, who have been in forest, who have been in just gruesome lifestyles for these past 28 years. We plead with you all to please help us out. These are not laughing matters at all. Adding salt to an injury, you have all kinds of organization who would just bring in a little sugar here, a little rice there, and then they go to this refugee camp, 28, 30 years refugee camp, and they pass on, and then they take some pictures, and then you bring about, in your own villages, in your own neighborhood, in your own locations here in the West or in Europe, and you show how benevolent that you are. However, you shy away from actually confronting the root of the cause, the root of the issue, the cause of the issue. The government of Rwanda, the then rebel, and not actually holding him to justice, having justice, giving us all justice. We are demanding justice today. We are demanding justice. Since 1990 up to this very day, not one single military in the Rwandan Patriotic Front or the government of Rwanda's military today has yet faced any justice, has yet been prosecuted. Most of them are here in the Western countries, doing business with governments, doing business with private corporations, going in and out of Rwanda, going in and out of the Congo. Most of them overseeing rapes taking place up to this very day. It's unconscionable. And we would love to humbly ask all of you to wake up and help us out. Now, like we're saying, with or without your help, all sons, daughters, African descendants, and friends of Africa, it is our turn today to do what is right by our brothers and sisters all over Africa, especially the voiceless. Especially the voiceless. I ask you all to come through, to really come through. There's so much that we have to do, and so little help, so little hand. But we ask all of you guys to take part in what we are doing today. Only us can make it happen. If you wait on the United Nations, if you wait on some of these government leaders, it's going to be very difficult. But I'm so grateful for army of guys, girls, this entire whole planet, those of you who still have an actual heart, that feel pain, that feel atrocities, that feel killings. Thank you for all the help that you are offering us today. A huge thanks to HMG Network and all the affiliates who have been spending so much airtime pulling this word out. We need your help, guys. If we do not tell our story, nobody else is going to tell the story for us or on behalf of each and every one of these families, especially the families that have been completely destroyed. So we have a duty, we have a responsibility, and we must be accountable to everything we're doing today. So with that in mind, I am grateful again. I am so grateful for Claude and Delphine for such an amazing testimony, an amazing conversation that you have brought us today. And I'm so grateful for you, global audience all over, for having tuned in. We want to ask that you share the content, especially those of you on social media. Share the content. Also tell your brothers and sisters, those who are still hiding, that today we can share our own story. Today you can write your own history. The kind of history the Kagame and all the Goonies will never want the rest of the world to know. But we are here to tell that story. And nobody's going to stop us. So we are so grateful, extremely humbled for the opportunity in this season to be here, to share with you all our story. And with that in mind, I am so grateful to all of you for having tuned in. We have so much more to say. We have so much to say to you all. Bring your own story as well, so it can be a part of the archive. I also want to remind you, we are writing our history. We are preserving this history to be here for thousands of years to come. We will make it happen with or without all of your help, especially those who have been committing these crimes day in and day out. And with that in mind, thank you so very much for tuning in. I am Freeman Singirankabo with HMG. I wish you all a super fantastic weekend. Until we see you again on this broadcast, so long.